Kevin De Bruyne's stunning earnings revealed amid Man City contract uncertainty. Manchester City star Kevin De Bruyne has been named one of the top 10 highest-paid footballers in the world in 2024, according to Forbes. The Belgian has proved a number of doubters wrong since arriving at Etihad Stadium from Bundesliga side Wolfsburg. During his time with the Blues, the 33-year-old has completed club football in the Northwest, winning 6 Premier League crowns, a Champions League, 2 FA Cups, 5 League Cup triumphs, as well as personal accolades such as 2-time PFA Player of the Season. De Bruyne will undoubtedly go down as one of the greats in City's history as he enters the final 6 months of his contract, which is set to expire at the end of the season. According to findings published by Forbes, De Bruyne is the 10th highest paid footballer in the sport. It has been reported that De Bruyne earns around $39 million 30M, with $35 million coming from his on-the-pitch exploits. It has been reported that De Bruyne earns around $39 million 30M, with $35 million coming from his on-the-pitch exploits. Forbes claims that the former Chelsea midfielder earns around $4 million from his off-field sponsorships, which include Nike and McDonald's. De Bruyne was the subject of interest from Saudi Arabia in the summer as the kingdom eyed the Belgium star to become the latest high-profile arrival in the Middle East. However, manager Pep Guardiola confirmed that he would remain at the Etihad Stadium. He said, "Kevin is not going. If someone leaves, we're going to talk about that. Of course, until the last day, we have chances to make transfers. I don't rule out the option to have new players, but I think there is an 85–90% chance we will have the same squad. I feel comfortable, because the quality of human beings we have in the squad is difficult to be replaced. And the quality is there. But we'll see. I don't know. In the last moment, if someone comes for some players and they leave, we're going to decide." Forbes' methodology includes salaries, bonuses, and image rights for their on-field calculations, from databases such as Capology. Cristiano Ronaldo topped their list, reportedly earning a whopping $285 million 219M, with Lionel Messi 135M, 103 pounds M, Neymar 110M, 84 pounds M, Karim Benzema 104M, 80 million pounds, and Kylian Mbappe 90M, 69 million pounds, making up the top 5. Defender Sean Rooney has left St Mirren after being charged with assaulting a woman and a breach of the peace against a man in a Glasgow city centre takeaway. The Scottish Premiership side suspended Rooney last month on a precautionary basis after police confirmed he had been arrested and charged in connection with an assault on an 18-year-old woman. The 28-year-old was also charged with the breach of the peace, treated as a hate crime, against an 18-year-old man. A club statement read, "St Mirren Football Club can confirm that Sean Rooney has left the club by mutual consent. The club will make no further comment." Rooney returned to Scottish football in the summer following a spell with Fleetwood Town, having previously played for various teams including St Johnstone, Inverness Caledonian Thistle, Queen of the South, Dunfermline and Queen's Park. Bologna's Dan N'Doye has emerged as a quick and pacey wide player since last season, and he also impressed for Switzerland at Euro 2024 some days ago. The winger was asked about interest from Liverpool, and he seemed quite open to potentially replacing Mohamed Salah at Anfield. While he probably isn't the only name on Liverpool's shortlist, it does seem he is a potential target. Interlive today shed some light on the situation of the Bologna star, who has been an important part of the side under Vincenzo Italiano. They reiterate a claim about interest from Liverpool, also stating that an offer from the Reds is increasingly likely. At the same time, Inter Milan are another potential suitor, and N'Doye is their dream target for the right wing-back role, due to his running and athletic ability. He would come in as a potential replacement for Denzel Dumfries, who is looking at the Premier League as a potential destination, but could end up in La Liga instead. N'Doye, who is 23 years old, has 1 assist this season and is yet to score. Goal scoring isn't quite his strength, but carrying the ball and covering ground surely is. Because of that, Liverpool can do better than Doy to replace Salah, but the Swiss star can be a very handy player for Arne Slot's side. Ending cruciate ligament injury. The Spanish newspaper Marca has claimed Liverpool know he will not renew his contract and has played a part in Real's attempts to lure past targets to the Bernabeu. Slot is not worried the backdrop will affect Alexander-Arnold's form. "I think you underestimate our players," he said. "These players are used to being linked with all the top clubs on a daily basis, if they have contracts or not. These players are used to being linked with all the top clubs on a daily basis, if they have contracts or not. If you think they're disturbed by these interests, then I think you don't do justice to how strong they are mentally and what they are used to. This is part of our job. I was at Feyenoord last year, and they linked me with many clubs. And before that, this is part of this world we are living in. You just focus on what you have to do. Maybe if you're 17 or 18 years of age, that could be difficult for you. But Trent has won the league, has won the Champions League, Virgil and Mo the same. I don't think that is a problem for them to perform. That's also what we see at the moment because they're playing really well. Put it that way." Slot suggested he is keen to keep all three, saying, "It is a good thing that everyone wants their contract renewed, but it means they do really well." Slot also said goalkeeper Alisson will be back before Christmas. The Brazilian is definitely out for several weeks with a hamstring problem. Julian Lopetegui underlines key to Derby success before West Ham visit Tottenham. Julian Lopetegui has swapped the frying pan of Spain for the fire of Tottenham vs West Ham. The Irons boss led Sevilla to 5 wins in 7 battles with neighbors Real Betis during his time in Europe's hottest city, on top of letting Real Madridinho 1 Clásico defeat against Barcelona. And while Spurs vs West Ham may not possess the same glamour as two of La Liga's biggest rivalries, he knows all about the importance today's fixture holds in the East End. Sevilla Betis is very difficult to better because it's a small town with very passionate fans. "It's strong," Lopetegui said, "but we're aware of the repercussions of this match. Always, this extra passion is good for the environment, the fans, for the players too, and for us. We try to enjoy all of this, but you put the focus into your work. We know that the situation is different, but we have to put the focus on the more important things, to play well, defend well, to be focused, and to be able to be very competitive against Tottenham." Lopetegui describes Spurs under Ange Postecoglou as a complete team, and he is convinced that the Australian has made major improvements. But with a high defensive line that can be exploited by a West Ham outfit always primed to counterattack, the ex-Spain boss insists the key to success is balancing their aggression. He added, "Always you have to choose when to compete, to choose when you have to go or not. But always this passion has to move you. It is very important in the life of football. Also you have to balance the aggression, because we have to play, to make decisions. You have to be balanced. We have to be able to compete, and to compete, we have to do a lot of good things. Sometimes you have to be able to make a counter, and sometimes to attack too. They are a team that doesn't allow you to attack them, because they are aggressive with big intensity, so we have to know the kind of match we have in front of us, and take good decisions." Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag is not fazed by his side's start to the Europa League campaign. United drew for a third successive Europa League Gamelist night against Fenerbahce, in a 1-1 draw. Christian Eriksen opened the scoring in the 15th minute, but the Turkish side replied in the 49th minute through Iasef and Nesiri. The United boss reflected on his team's past 2 results in Europe as he said, 2 points away versus Fenerbahce and Porto. It's a result. But of course, we want to win these games. He also added, "I made him a full back when he played number 10. He was helping the midfield, supporting Xerxes in pressing, and was a big part of the goal for Eriksen." This raises the question of why fan favoritism Dialloy not getting as much game time as some fans and pundits think he deserves. he's doing very well, but I must also reward the performances of Antony in training. The Brazilian came off with an injury after playing just 16 minutes and was subsequently replaced by Diallo. The Red Devils have now not won a game in Europe for a whole year. However, the concerns around whether Erik ten Hag should stay or go are still prevalent. The Cameroon international shared his thoughts about the draw in his post-match interview as he said, "It's very disappointing for me, for the club. We have an obligation to win at Man United, which we didn't do. We take our responsibilities and move on." As he said, "I know you will say Manchester United didn't play well. Why didn't they have shots? Why weren't they good enough? My players deserve credit for that performance. United have never beaten Fenerbahce away from home, but Mourinho had already identified Ten Hag's tactical tweaks before the saying, I know what he tried. With Xerxes, they wanted to see if I press him when he drops. I don't go, they have one extra player. If I go, they try to create space for Garnacho and Rashford." He followed up those comments as he said, "Situation with Mazraoui may be for you, big surprise. But for us, maybe not. Amrabat told me Mazraoui can play this position. He did a lot for Ten Hag at Ajax. He is not Bruno, but he has legs to press the center backs.